All right, what's going on, guys? I know it's been a minute. Everyone's been asking. So I finally got my shits together. So I could pretty much give you guys in a nutshell how you go about doing clear taillights for the Genesis. Pretty much any platform. I have not tried with any other specific model like DH and the other newer models. So I really can't say about them. But as far as the BH is concerned, I know about it. Shout out to Nesta Villa. He is the gentleman that introduced me to this on Facebook. So he's really the one that gave me all the information that I need on how I need to go about doing this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. But before I start, just don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for any notifications coming in for you guys, all right? So I'm gonna make this short and quick, real brief, straight to the point, all right? First off, of course, you're gonna need the light. And as everyone knows, for the BH Genesis, you got the two pieces, right? You got these two pieces that go on one, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Now, the biggest question everyone asks me is, do you need to open the lights? Necessarily speaking, no. If you want to go through it, Nestor did it. And it came out perfectly. But me, I just saved myself all the extra stuff because I usually break stuff and I don't want to break anything. So yeah, I did it from the outside. Now, as you can see, I'm gonna try to show you exactly how thick that layer is. See that thick layer? Yeah. It's a pretty thick layer. And it's not one of those things where you can spray, what's the A word? I can't remember the damn word right now. But it's almost like alcohol. I can't remember, it's like nail polish remover. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But it's not one of those things you can just spray on these and it will come off. It don't work like that. This thing is thick as hell and you have to really put some work in to get it. So, first thing, you need the lights. Second thing, tools. You can hand sand it. It's gonna take you a minute. I'll give you that. This is not for the wary. They made these things for it not to be able to open and not to be able to do this at all. So you gotta be ready to put some work in. Now, I went to Walmart. I got this sander here, so you guys can see. I got one, I got two. Two sanders are better. So one I use one grit on, and another one I use the other stage that I'm going on to, just to see how far I am as far as it comes to seeing how clear, if any clear is showing up at all. Now, don't get discouraged because you're gonna be doing it for a while, and it can be mentally challenging. Let's put it that way, right? So here's the grits that you're gonna need to start off with, and you're gonna need water. It's gonna be wet sanding. It's not gonna be a dry sand. If you use the sander and you try to dry sand, it's gonna mess with the housing material to a point where you cannot bring it back from it having all these splits and all this kind of stuff on the housing. So wet sanding is the best way to go. Like I said, if you can't do the machine sand, there are grits that you can use for the hand sand. So now we're talking sand grits. I'm pretty sure most of you guys in the car community are familiar with sand grits and woodwork and stuff, and the different courses that you got to use. So we start off with a 50. It's the first course we start off with. It's very rough. It takes off the thicker layer of the light. You go for a 50. Like I said, short and sweet to the detail. Go to a 60. You go to an 80. Remind you, I know the shapes are a little different because I have two different shapes for my sanders. That's why I have the square shape where it clips on, and then I have what they call like a, god damn it, you guys caught me on that one. That shape. Yeah. You got that shape, and then those are the ones that you can tap on to this at the bottom. And the square ones, you can it clamps on the side onto this sander. So after you clamp on that, you keep going, like I said, 50, 60, 80 grit. Go to your 220 to start smoothing it out. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, you go to 320. Now, this is when it starts getting a little crucial because that's when you start getting down really fine, and you can really see, at this point, you can really see, okay, am I almost finished with my work, or do I need to go back? It was a lot of trial and error for me. It took me a minute. It was my first time doing it. There were some pieces that a little bit imperfected, but it looks good from far and it looks good up close still. You can see, there's a little bit of work done to it that probably still needs to get done to make it look like picture perfect, but I'm satisfied with the results. And then you got the 2000 grit that you go with. And finally, if you are completely satisfied, when the clear that you sanded matches with this clear up here, try your best not to touch this part, by the way. This is really your best space of judgment. When you clear here and you look at here, it's really easy to match it up. So try not to touch this at all, this side at all. Matter of fact, just tape it off if you should. So if you get to a point where you feel like you're really comfortable with what you're looking at, and this is how you would like it to be, of course, you get some soap water, dry it off, make sure you use some alcohol to, whatever little dust that you may have that's been going through while you were sanding, get all that stuff off with the alcohol. And then your final stage is gonna be this one clear coating, right? And you gotta be very careful with this because there's the nozzle comes, it looks like the traditional nozzle, as you can see, but it's really not. The way how the pattern shoots out when it sprays in a way where it's not going to run. So you don't have to be a professional in order to spray it and make sure it doesn't run. It's gonna run if you spray it a little too close. So just measure your distance properly, because once that dries up, you're gonna have to go back to sanding. So that's pretty much it in the whole spectrum of getting your OEM, the red part of the OEM headlights out, so it could go from this to this. That's really everything in a nutshell. Let me see. I just want to make sure that you guys understand this is not, man, I've been doing this for as far as labor is concerned, you're talking about at least, I was on vacation when I did it. So it took me 3 days. And for each piece, I'm talking about, remember, it's 2 pieces. And it was the whole rear set that I had to do. So we're talking, this is about 2.5 hours, right? And of course, this is the big piece. This is the more challenging part because, I just remembered. This little curve that you see right here comes over that bump. You gotta be real careful. You gotta be real careful with that, because there is a chance with a machine you can over sand and you can create these small little slits that you would miss. I did it on mine. Like I said, trial and error. The only way you would know if it's gonna work out is if you try it. Somebody got to do it, right? So I did it, but I ended up getting some clear Gorilla Tape, and I used my heat gun and heat shrinked it onto the light itself, the light housing itself, and it mended pretty well. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm gonna just run a quick video so you guys can see how it looked. The set that I got was from the junkyard, so it has, like I said, some minor imperfections about it, but at the same time, I believe it came out great. I'm happy with my work. If there's any other questions that you guys want to ask me about, I'm more than willing. You can hit me up on my Instagram is more active than my TikTok and Facebook. So you can just hit me up on Instagram or hit me up on YouTube. I'll respond to you guys as quickly as I can, and I'll give you guys any information that you need to know. I will put all the description of all these items that I use, all the tools that I use, in the description below. That's for now. I send you guys a little video so you can see how it is, and that's it. Peace. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I know you're wondering, why does he have 2 in the same car, right? Makes no sense. Project LS coming soon. I got y'all. Stay tuned, all right? Stay tuned, because it's happening. It's happening.